Hi there. It's our pleasure to have you on board today's half-hour informative journey inside Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Coming up, our bi-weekly Western Roundup returns. Sit back and relax. You'll be inspired later by one young man's innovations in science and technology. All these and much more right after this important message.
Agriculture and fisheries is big business. Get formalized this year. Be among 100 farmers and fisheries producers who will benefit from a developmental project funded by the International Labour Organization and implemented by the Government of Jamaica. Whether you're male or female, we want to help you. Young farmers, there's a special place for you too. Apply at any RADA or JBDC office island-wide and jbdc.net. Deadline March 22. Agriculture and fisheries is big business.
In Western Roundup this week, team member Nikita Sterling will take us on a trek to a school getting increased access to computer technology and see how the Western Sanitation Entity plans to treat with plastic bottle waste. Hop on for these, plus a rabbit meat treat with the 4-H clubs along the way.
Several St. James schools receive computer labs. Western Parks and Market WPM Waste Management Limited launches its plastic bottle recycling pilot program, and Jamaica 4-H clubs seek to push rabbit as an alternative source of meat. These are all we have lined up for you today, and it promises to be an exciting program. Stick around. Overjoyed would be an understatement if we were to try and describe the feedback from the residents of Goodwill St. James, having received a fully outfitted computer lab from the Universal Service Fund, USF, under its Community Access Point initiative.
We are appreciative of what the USF has given unto us. This computer lab, which is so beautiful and well equipped for students and for the community at large. Most people in our community are not financially able to get internet service in their homes. And this is a brilliant and wonderful gesture that has been done to the community and the students at Goodwill, primary and infant. This will enhance the learning capabilities of the children, and it will let our community grow.
We are indeed very elated, very overjoyed to have been presented with this lab from Universal Service Fund. It is indeed a very good gesture, and I can assure you that it will be very, very beneficial to the students, to the teachers, and especially to the community at large.
The labs are equipped with desktop computers, chairs, desks, air conditioning AC units, and internet connectivity to increase access for students and the wider community. Similar computer labs were also commissioned at the Montego Bay Boys and Girls Club and the Barracks Road Primary and Flanker Primary and Junior High schools in the parish. The projects will attract an overall cost of approximately $34 million. High commendations are also in order for the Western Parks and Market to WPM Waste Management Limited for their recent pilot plastic bottle separation project launched in Meadows of Irwin, St. James. The project aims to promote the separation of plastic bottles from organic waste and ultimately reduce the high volume of bottles being deposited at the retirement disposal site in the parish.
We were actually approached by the NSWMA, and we were quite excited because we do recognize that there has been significant degrading of the environment. There's a lot of pollution, and we really wanted to play our part in this. So when we were approached, we were very excited.
12 drums designated for plastic bottle collection have been placed across the community, while bags were distributed to residents for storage of the containers. Regional Operations Manager at the WPM, Garnet Edmondson, says the initiative forms part of the National Solid Waste Management Authority's commitment to promoting respect for the environment.
Plastics can become very harmful. They are very useful and they can become very harmful. Anything, how we use them, how we consume them, how we dispose of them. So for longevity in terms of life, we have to realize the harmful nature of these plastics when they are not disposed of properly.
Data from the pilot project will be used to guide the implementation of the program in larger communities across the parish. Finally, over in Trelawney, the Jamaica 4-H Clubs has been pushing to position rabbit meat as an alternative animal protein on the local market. In doing so, some 109 farmers and entrepreneurs have been successfully trained in the mastery level of rabbit care and management training program.
We have been promoting the consumption of rabbit meat as an alternative protein source that is low fat. And so at our different shows, and so you will see we present rabbit meat in different ways. Curry rabbit, brown stew rabbit, braised rabbit. We just have rabbit. You think it, we can create it.
Recognizing an increase in demand for rabbit meat pre-COVID among hotels and restaurants, the team has sought to add value to the product for both farmers and their markets. Efforts are also being made to encourage rabbit farmers to form cooperatives that will invest in meat processing and packaging plants to meet international market standards and better cater to the local tourism industry.
Even though you will find a few farmers, and I say few because you have very few indeed, that have large amounts of rabbit, the consistency is not there. So we need to get other persons involved where we can get the consistency, so we can say, hey, we can supply you with 100 or 200 pounds of dressed rabbit every week before we can actually go into that. Without us being able to do that, the industry is just going to be progressing, but really at a slower pace.
Individuals interested in being part of the Jamaica 4-H Club's training programs can visit their website at jamaica4hclubs.com.
We hope you enjoyed the program as much as we did. Thanks for joining us for Western Roundup, where we take you from the corners of St. Elizabeth to the hilly terrains of St. Anne. Remember to send us your feedback to jismobe@jis.gov.jm. Until next time, take care.
Our youth represent the future of our country, and their endeavors in the science and technology fields will play a crucial role in improving social and economic buoyancy. The Prime Minister's Youth Awards for Excellence promotes and encourages future leaders in these and other fields. Our next feature highlights one of the recipients of this prestigious award.
Our first Prime Minister's National Award in the category of Innovation and Science and Technology goes to Yakini Wallen Bryan.
Prelabs is a technology innovation company. We focus and specialize in remote monitoring and control as well as automation. Our main focus is really around remote monitoring, control and automation. One of the main markets that we're in is property management, where if you want to monitor your energy usage, your water usage, control your appliances, turn off water, understand the level of your water tank, automate processes like with your garden or with security, we can offer those solutions in a way that makes it easier for people to manage their investments. In addition to this, we've also provided means for people to be able to monitor environmental parameters. So one project that we have happening right now is an early fire detection and flash flood warning system, where we have sensors deployed across an area. Over a large area, the sensors can detect environmental parameters such as air quality, which can tell you if there's smoke present, temperature, can tell you if there's a fire present, rainfall, soil moisture, etc. All of these things can allow people who want to coordinate responses regarding, if there's a forest fire. Previously, there will be no way of knowing this unless they get a call saying that someone sees a big fire on the hill or there's a lot of smoke. And at that time, usually it's very hard to be able to control it. If they have a way of detecting it early, then they're more likely to be able to respond to the issue. So we built a system for one of our clients to essentially monitor the surrounding environment, know when things are off in the case of like a fire, flash flood, landslide, and just help them monitor the environment more effectively. We also offer a number of different automation solutions for industrial players, vision systems that can help with quality assurance, inspecting products, moving by at hundreds per second with the smallest defects, automating processes, helping them to monitor parameters about their processes and their products from anywhere and sending them alerts if anything should happen that it should not happen. One such system that we deployed was for a client that wanted to be able to monitor the quality of their labels leaving the factory. So we were able to deploy a vision system and train the model such that it could pick up when a product wasn't properly labeled, if the label was half off or totally off, such that they can ship their goods overseas with confidence. We started our COVID initiatives at the start of the pandemic when a few entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs came together from different companies and groups across the island, trying to figure out how it is that we can assist in our country in the time of need. You know, they reached out to me asking if we could build a ventilator. We said, well, we've never done anything like that before. We looked into it. We looked into it. We built it. Along the way, the opportunity also came up to make 3D printed face shields based on some of the resources that we've had and that we've been able to acquire through some of our donors. It was something that was in need, and still in need, but at the time, particularly in very high demand. So we just went ahead and started 3D printing and were able to donate over 3,000 to the public healthcare sector. 3D printing is a lot like 2D printing, just in another dimension. The most common type is called fused deposition modeling, where a material, usually ABS or PLA plastic, is heated and melted layer by layer in a specific pattern corresponding to whatever file the 3D printer is reading that represents a model of a 3D object. That is the most common way. Another way that we were using to 3D print testing swabs is called stereolithography. That involves using a UV light to harden a liquid resin layer by layer and pulling the solid object out of that liquid resin. We've done a lot of things in the short time that we've been in operation, but it's nowhere near close to what we can do and all the things that we're capable of doing for the technology space in Jamaica. Winning the Prime Minister Youth Award was sincerely an honor. It helped shed some spotlight on some of the things that we were doing. We're grateful for that. We do work very hard and we believe that what we're doing is groundbreaking in a number of different respects. And we also want, as often as we can, show people what can happen locally, what Jamaicans are capable of. Other people who have gone through programs that I went through or are going through programs that I went through can see that, they're learning things that they can apply, seeing that Jamaica is capable of innovating and doing cutting edge solutions in technology space. My advice to young innovators would be quite simply, always challenge yourself or keep challenging yourself. If you believe something can be done, don't assume that because of your circumstances or situation that you are not able to do what others can. If you see a way that it can happen and you believe it can happen, go all out, prove them wrong.
Behind every Jamaican medical cannabis product is a story. To create that perfect plant requires the care, patience, and nurturing of that special farmer. When harvested, it is carefully transported to a processing facility where it is transformed into high-quality medical cannabis products for consumption by responsible consumers. All this and more is possible through the closed-loop system created by the Cannabis Licensing Authority to protect the integrity of Jamaica's medical cannabis industry. For more information, call the Cannabis Licensing Authority at 876-654-7582 or visit our website at cla.org.jm.
Overweight and obesity are major factors for a number of non-communicable diseases. Regular exercise and a balanced diet help to avoid the dangers and preserve your good health. Keep watching as health promotion experts in the Ministry of Health and Wellness explain how to go about exercising and dieting to lose weight and tone the body muscles safely.
You want this lean, muscular physique and well-toned body, framed for the beach, carnival parade, or just your regular dressed down or formal attire. You want to cut the fat and develop that noticeable defined muscle and shape, but not significant muscle size. There's nothing wrong with any of that, as long as you remember the most important thing is not a summer or designer body, but rather a healthy body. By doing efficient exercises and controlling your weight, you can expect to safely lose between 1 and 2 pounds a week on your journey to a more fit body. But doctors recommend that you should not lose more than 1 to 2 pounds per week. For many people, even this rate may be too aggressive in terms of dietary and exercise modifications.
That body is not just going to come overnight. It's not going to come within 2 weeks or a month, depending. It all depends on the type of activity you do, how you do it.
Within 2 months, if you stick to your exercise program and if it's done properly, you will see and feel results. Before starting any structured exercise program, however, persons should first consult with their doctor.
The reason why we need a medical approval from our doctor is that a lot of us have pre-existing health conditions and some of us are not as fit as we think. For example, in Jamaica, 4 in 10 is hypertensive and they don't know it. And it's the same with diabetes, 4 in 10 and don't know it. And our stats tell us 7 out of 10 Jamaicans die from a chronic disease. We define physical activity by intensity level and the frequency in which we do it. Frequency meaning how often we do it per week. For example, 2 times per week or 5 days per week. The intensity is the energy in which we use to perform the activity, meaning how hard you work out. There's 3 levels of intensity: low, moderate, and vigorous.
If you want to lose weight, the Ministry of Health recommends 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise 5 days per week. To lose and maintain weight, 90 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise 5 days per week is recommended. There are 2 main categories of exercise, namely aerobic and anaerobic exercise.
What this is saying that the body needs oxygen to break down fat that is stored in the body. All the calories stored in the body as fat need oxygen to break it down, that is in the tissue. So if you want to lose weight, you must do the aerobic activity to burn that fat that we use as energy when we're doing the activity. So the type of activities are like swimming, running, dancing. It is normally done for a long period of time.
When you decide to lose weight, you want results. Results keep you motivated and on track. Cardiovascular exercises are part of the aerobic category and they help you trim down by burning extra calories. While this helps shed excess fat and strengthens your cardiorespiratory system, it won't build the tone in your muscles that you're after.
Now, when we talk about anaerobic activity, it is activity that does not need oxygen. It's quick, it's fast, it's snap. So most of the time, that activity will help to tone the muscles that we're looking for. But you cannot tone unless, we lose that fat. So you need to do the aerobic activity, then you do the anaerobic activity, which is like the weightlifting, the squats, the push-ups, the jumping, so that now you lose with aerobic and then you tone with anaerobic.
Calories are the name of the game when you're trying to lose weight. Eat fewer calories than you burn and the scale will respond.
Generally, we work with a 2,000 to 2,500 caloric intake per day for the general population. But for each person, their caloric requirements is different because we calculate it based on your specific age, your height, weight, gender, and how physically active you are. Females generally eat less because they carry less muscle mass than men and so they weigh less. The range is different. For someone who is very slim and short, then maybe 1,800 would be a safe amount to save for that person. But for men, 2,100 would be the lower end of the spectrum.
You may create a caloric deficit, which will cause you to lose weight, but it's best to work with a balanced diet and exercise.
A caloric deficit is when you consume less calories than what you're using for the day. So usually persons try to cut their caloric intake significantly to lose a lot of weight at once, but consuming less than, say, 1,200 calories per day can cause you to have nutritional deficiencies. You can lose muscle and bone, and your body will also go into starvation mode so that you'll stop losing weight altogether.
That's a no-no. The best way to slim down and tone up is to combine balanced diet and exercise. And avoid fad diets such as low carb, high protein, or anything that deviates from a balanced diet.
In Jamaica, we have food-based dietary guidelines that are specific to the Jamaican population, but it's based on the 6 food groups in the Caribbean. So we have food from animals, staples, legumes and nuts, fruits, vegetables, and fats and oils.
Losing weight at a rate faster than 1 to 2 pounds per week and regularly skipping meals can leave you feeling extraordinarily hungry so that you binge at the next opportunity, causing weight regain. Plan for 3 balanced meals per day, in addition to 1 or 2 healthy snacks.
You want to include foods from all of your food groups. So say for example you're planning for lunch, you want to include either food from animals or a plant-based protein like beans or nuts. You have your staple foods like rice, bread or pasta, your fruits and vegetables that you can include in a salad, and you can put your fats and oils, for example, like in pear or avocado. Healthy snacks are low in fat, low in salt and low in sugar. So you can have a fruit or vegetables, for example, carrot sticks, or you can use dried fruits and nuts. As a general guide, 1 serving of food from animals is the palm of your hand, a cup of rice is like your fist, and fats and oils is your thumb. That's 1 serving.
Losing fat and retaining or building muscle creates a strong, toned appearance. Do strength training activities that focus on all the major muscles and the entire body, upper, mid, and lower body. Plank is a good full body workout which helps to build strength in your core, upper and lower body. Those that focus on the lower body include lunges, using the stairs, leg press and squat exercises that effectively work most of the major muscle groups of the butt, hips and thighs. Some examples of exercises to strengthen the mid-body abdominal muscles include the side twist, traditional crunch, bicycle crunch and exercise ball. You can also try other activities to sculpt your legs, tone your thighs and bottom muscles, waist and abs.
Ensure that you hydrate properly. It is good to drink water before, during and after your activity so you don't get dehydrated. Don't wait until you're thirsty, just take your water with you and sip, little sip as you go along. So make sure you work out at an intensity level that suits you, because every one of us are at a different fitness level.
Getting and staying fit is a lifestyle change, so you have to make exercise a part of your daily routine and eat a balanced diet daily for a happier, healthier you.
The Heart Foundation of Jamaica, as you all know, is a charitable organization which has been operating in Jamaica for 50 years now. And the Heart Foundation of Jamaica's mission is to reduce the prevalence of cardiovascular disease, that's diseases of the heart and blood vessels, in the Jamaican population. we are particularly interested in COVID-19 at the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, not only because we have been affected by all the economic, financial, social restrictions, but also because COVID-19 seems to have a particular impact in people with heart disease. And even in people who don't have heart disease, there are cardiac complications which develop as a result of COVID-19. One of the mandates of the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, one of the messages that we want to give is this: continue following up your medical conditions, continue screening for heart disease and the risk factors for heart disease.
In terms of the screening, the cost of doing the heart test or the ECG is $2,500. This would include meeting with the registered nurse, having the ECG done. If it's abnormal, it will be read by a cardiologist. It also includes a blood pressure check and the height and the weight check. We would also recommend a blood sugar test, which is $600, a finger prick, you get your result in 3 minutes, and a total cholesterol check, $1,200, which also is the same finger prick to your blood sugar check. So in all, maybe about just over $4,000 would give you a full screening. Based on that, we would then refer you, if necessary, to one of our several cardiologists or nutritionists if you need help with your diet.
As with other infectious diseases, the emphasis is on prevention, early detection and isolation, and also management of cases to prevent persons from having serious illness and death. What we have seen is that persons with comorbidities are 96 more times likely to have moderate and severe illnesses, and are over 100 times more likely than persons without chronic illnesses to die. Many have more than one comorbidities, with a combination of cardiovascular disease and diabetes being quite common. The most common comorbidity and risk factor for death is age over 60 years. Our national surveys have shown that a significant portion of our elderly persons have comorbid illnesses, of which cardiovascular disease is the most common. The Ministry of Health and Wellness have therefore prioritized prevention in these groups to prevent or reduce risk of exposure. Hence, the stay at home, wearing your mask, maintain physical distance. The Disaster Risk Management Act pulls these persons out in having the stay at home order for the elderly persons. And of course, regardless of whether you're at home or in the community, you have to maintain the precautions at all times. It is therefore important that these vulnerable groups ensure that they maximize their ability to fight the disease if they should become exposed. And this includes healthy lifestyle choices, exercise, diet, keeping well hydrated, rest and relaxation. But also care for your chronic illness with regular physical examinations, compliance with medication, and timely and appropriate screening to increase persons getting continued care by increasing the use of telemedicine, by increasing the length of prescriptions, and by instituting a home delivery for medications for elderly persons.
We are at the end of today's journey. You've been great company. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another show. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website, gis.gov.jm, or subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Until next time, do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.